crafty friends, thanks for joining me today. So in today's video, we're going to make that card that I showed you on Friday for Fun Fold Fridays. And I want to show you the fun technique to make this card. So let's get the camera turned down and we'll get started. So in this card, I use two different techniques that I want to share with you, and I think you'll find them very easy to do. So let me show you what we're going to do. I am using the Covered in Sunshine stamp set, and I've already got the May the Road Ahead of You Be Brighter Than the One Behind, lined with wildflowers and covered in sunshine. I've already got that in my Stamparatus. And we have several pieces here that I've already die cut. I've got my card base, which is 5.5 by 7 3/8, scored at 4 1/4. So it's a regular card base. And I hope you were able to watch my Fun Fold Friday video where I showed you all the details on how to make this fun fold. And this is a very easy card, comes together very quickly. And I hope you give it a try. And you can use any papers that you have on hand or stamp sets. Next, I have two pieces of basic white, and they are cut at 3 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then I have a scrap piece of petal pink, and this will be for the layering piece. And that we're going to, I'll show you how to make the, we're going to be using the Label Me Lovely punch. So you can see this is a fairly square, you know, with a little scalloping on the edges. But what I did, I'll show you how to do this, is I made it longer. So isn't that cool? And it fit perfectly for this stamp set. That, and then I have a piece of scrap basic white already on my Stamparatus. And I'm also featuring Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper, and you can earn this for free with a $50 purchase during Celebration, which ends on February 28th, or while supplies last. I don't think that they're going to be, Stampin' Up will be, what am I trying to say? Replenish it if it runs out. I think during Celebration, once they're sold out, they're sold out. So it's really pretty paper. It's got these beautiful wildflowers on them. And I apologize if you can hear my dog barking. I'm not sure what she's looking for. Hopefully she doesn't come upstairs. So really pretty papers. You know, some of them you can just, like this one here is perfect to use. Just cut out these pieces here and use that as a card base. You know, really nice wildflowers and some greenery. And then of course you have the back sides, which are a little more geometric or, you know, softer prints. So we're going to be using this piece right here, and I want to cut this down 3 3/4, I believe. 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So 3 3/4. by 5 1/4. And we're going to be cutting this down further. Put that aside. I will set this over here though, because I do need a piece for the inside. So now I'm going to cut this down at 2 7/8, and it's going to remain at the 5 1/4 inches. So 2 7/8 by 5 1/4 inches. And you should be left with a piece that is 7/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Let's just make sure, and it is good. All right, so we did that right. All right, I think I am done with this for the moment. I can put that aside. Let's start putting some of these pieces down. I'm going to start with the basic white piece first. We'll adhere this to my, and I'm using Mossy Meadow cardstock as my card base. Just add a little adhesive here. Put that down. And you can use a bigger border. I'm just using a very small border around. Then we'll put the Designer Series paper down. So I hope you were able to watch that Fun Fold video. That's the first one that I did in my Fun Fold Friday series. And every Friday I will bring you a new video featuring a fun fold. And as I mentioned in the video, they might be new fun folds, you know, ones that you may not have seen yet, ones that I've never featured, or they could be ones that I have featured. But this way, when you're done, you'll have a nice series to go back to and refer to. And this piece is going on the side here, and this is cut at 1 inch by 5 3/8 inches. And then we'll put the designer series paper over that. Again, leaving a little border around. That turned out really nice with this flower showing right here. I like that. Very pretty. All right, then I want to put the basic white in here. And that will be where you write your sentiment. Then we'll add a little strip of designer series paper at the bottom. And you want to make sure when you're putting this that you're lining it up with the other basic white on the side here, top and bottom, and so that it doesn't peek out from when you have the card closed. All right, let's cut another piece for the bottom here. So I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off. Let's do it from up here. So 1/2 inch. And this will be 1/2 inch by 3 inches. Ever get things stuck in your paper trimmer? I like to either use cardstock or whatever I have handy just to fling it out of there. All right, so that's 1/2 inch by 3 inches. So we'll cut this down to 3 inches, and we'll adhere this to the inside, and then we can get to the fun part. We'll add a little glue to the bottom. I find when I'm working with small pieces like this, it's best to put the glue on the bigger area than fight with the small piece to get the glue on there. And this lines up right to the bottom and on the edges here. Like so. All right. So that is done. We can set that aside. Let's stamp this first. I've got that basic white in here. And this is just a scrap piece of basic white. Let me close this up so I don't get it on me. All right, so we are using 4 different colors. I have Old Olive, Rich Raspberry, Blushing Bride, and Night of Navy. I've got my sponge daubers. These come in a set of 5. And I don't have one for each color, so I just kind of do it by color family. I think this was the red one. We've got a blue one. And then we've got a green, purple. I think this was the pink one that I used. Looks like I have 2 green ones in here. All right, let's move this over here. I'll zoom in a little so you can see what I'm doing. And I want to lay something underneath here since I'm going to be working on this stamp. So what I'm doing is you can use Stampin' Right markers to color on your stamps directly. You cannot use stamping blends. So remember that. Stampin' Right markers are okay. Stamping blends not. All right, so we're just going to come in here and I'm going to add some color. I'm doing Night of Navy on the top here. I think I just got some on the part that I don't want it to. And I want to take that off. So let me just get this little thing here. Wipe that a little. So. And since I'm using a Stamparatus, I can always go back and do this again if it doesn't come out perfect the first time. And what you want to do is after each color application, you know, this is a little tedious maybe, but it looks really cool, I think. You do want to clean your stamp after each color application. And you'll see why in a second or a minute when I'm working with the other colors, because you can have a little bit of the color blend into the other colors. I just don't want the blue to blend in, the Night of Navy. So we got that. And then I have my dry erase board eraser, so I can just rub it on the back there. And there you go. I missed some over on the swirl here, so we're going to do that just a little bit to see where I missed, which was about here, I believe. And I'll stamp that again. I feel like I keep missing that piece. Where is that? Over here. Let's try that one more time. I think it might be on the top that I'm missing. Right there. All right. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so we'll close out the Stampin' Right marker. And as I said, you want to clean it after each color application. So just wipe it with your Simply Chamois. I love this. There's just water added on this. And since these are water-based markers and also the inks, it comes off very easily. And I will run this cloth here just to make sure it's dry, so we don't get any wetness on the cardstock. All right, next we'll use the Rich Razzleberry. So basically I'm going to do the Rich Razzleberry on top, the Blushing Bride in the center here, and then we'll do the Old Olive on the bottom. So use the Rich Razzleberry, put that there. And I'm inking up my sponge dauber, just dabbing on it. And then you just color right directly on the stamp. And if it bleeds into the other areas, it's okay. I do want it to blend into the other areas just a little. And I'm not worried if it gets up on the top here, because I did use the Night of Navy, so that's a darker color. Rub it again. Let's see what that looks like. We'll do it one more time. Came out a little too light. And you can go as deep or as light as you want. Just, pounce on it. Like so. Let's try that one more time. I'm not sure why it's not coming out on that side there. I can see the color on the stamp. There we go. I guess I wasn't pressing hard enough. All right, so I am done with the Rich Razzleberry. We'll close that and set it aside. Next, I'm going to do the Blushing Bride. And you'll notice that I did get a bit of the Rich Razzleberry here, but that's okay. Let me wipe it first. Okay, and then we'll do the Petal Pink. I'm sorry, Blushing Bride. I get these two colors confused. They're so similar. All right, so we're going to go up to here. Again, it blends into the other one. It's okay. So you want to dab in your ink and then just blot on here on the stamp. And I'm using the Stamparatus is so that I can do this repeatedly if it doesn't come out right the first time. I want it a little bit darker. And that's what makes it so nice using the Stamparatus, because you put the stamp in there once, you position your paper, and then you can repeatedly stamp over it. So it's very nice for this sort of technique. And I also like using the grid paper so that, let's say my paper moves for some reason, my cardstock, I have it lined up in this corner so I know where I have started it. Press that down. So perfect. Close this up, clean that up, and then we'll do the green. Again, put some color on the sponge dauber and then dab it onto your. And you can also do this with your Stampin' Right markers. I did not have the colors that I wanted to use. I only have the brights and the neutrals in the Stampin' Right markers. Someday I'll get the other ones, but for right now, these will do. Press that down. Do it again. And get a little darker. So I hope you give this technique a try. It's really cool to get that effect. Especially this stamp is easy to do that with because the words are separated in a certain way, making it easier to do this. Perfect. All right, great. Set these aside. Close this up so we don't stick fingers in there. And wipe this clean. Let's take this out and we'll trim this down. And I want to trim it fairly close so that it will be able to go into the punch. So we can always start cutting part off and then go back and cut some more off if we need to. Let's see, I might need to cut just a little bit more. I do want to make it smaller than the pink one, so you know, maybe we should measure the pink one here. So that's 2 inches. You know, let me zoom back out again. All right, so that's 2 inches, and what do we have here? I'm going to go smaller than 2 inches. Cut a little bit more off of this side here. I think it might have gone just a little too small, but that's okay. There we go. Perfect. There you go. All right, so to get that, what you want to do is slide it in. So normally you would slide it in from this side, right? You would punch, right? But for this, so if you were to do that, you would get this punch out. So for this, you want to look, you know, flip your punch over and you want to slide it in this way and have part of it hanging out. And then let that engage when you're happy with that, like so. And then you'll do the same thing with the other side. Lining it up and then punch. So now instead of having a square with the scallops, you have a longer piece. And then we'll do the same with the blushing bride. Slide it in here, so. And I'm going to adhere this to the blushing bride so that I know how much I need on the other side. How much I want to cut off. So this is a great way to use your punches and in a different manner and get a different look out of them. And you can make them go, you know, much longer. That, and close this out. And then we'll put the other side in and we'll trim that down. We'll punch that, getting about the same amount there. So, and then just punch it out, like so. And there you have it. All right, so now we're going to cut a piece of ribbon. Let's see, how much ribbon do we want? Not that much. Let's get our snips. We can always cut some more off if I need to. And for this ribbon I am using, I believe this is new, it's gold shimmer ribbon. Really pretty. All right, so normally I would put a piece of Scotch tape on here, but I don't have Scotch tape, so we're going to try this. Hopefully it stays down. It'll be covered anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, we'll put some dimensionals on here. And I'm going to line up dimensionals. I'm going to kind of go a little heavy on the dimensionals. We'll put them on the top, 3 on the bottom, 2, 3, and then I want to put on the side here. There we go. Add this to the center here. So, and then I'll trim this down just a little more. And trim the other side just a tad. Oops. There we go. Okay, then we'll add some brushed brass butterflies. I don't have I'm not sure where it is. Take your pick tool. Let's see. Put a big one over here maybe. And you don't need too many on this because the designer series paper does all the work for you. I just want to add a couple of these butterflies to the flowers. About there. All right. Well, there you go, folks. I think that looks great. I hope you give this a try. It's really fun and easy. And make sure you go back to my video from Friday to check out the fun fold that we just did today. So gang, if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I would love to have you subscribe. Just hit that notification bell and you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. And you'll definitely want to come back and watch my Friday videos to see those fun folds. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. My contact information is found below in the description. Have a great day, guys. Happy stamping. Bye.